Now this is poetry in motion, emotions in the open. I'm sending all my love like some overseas devotion to give a little peace for the world that's in commotion. We drop keys for the times, how we coping that'll do your heart well when all else was all hell. If melodies the weaponry, we wore well.
Hey guys, this is Jamal with gospelmusicians.com, and we're coming at you. Number one request has been this jazz kind of neo-soul kind of stuff. So I want to give you a groove, guys, for Sunday morning whenever we get back. So I'm going to give you kind of a groove as a jazzy neo-soul hip-hop kind of groove. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the psychology of the chords. All right. So the psychology actually of the chords is going to be interesting. So we're going to be in key of F this time. Let me play a little bit of it. Woo. Now I'm just playing around to get myself acclimated to it. To just to all right, so so let's talk about the psychology behind these chords, why, what we do. So we're in the key of F, minding our own business. We want to play something jazzy. We got a nice little beat. First thing you want to understand is when you're playing the chords like this, you have to play a little sloppy, but not sloppy, but very, very grooved. So here's this beat. So let me play off one time. This is on the now when we swing it, you see how I laid on it so it's slightly behind. 1, 2, ready. I slugged it. I said, bling, ding, ding, bling, bling, bling. You see what I'm saying? So it's a slight little slug. So it's just kind of like sling, ding, ding. You see? All right, so now what we're gonna do? So the chords is, and I kind of woke up with this groove on my head, so I'm learning it as we go. So let's get to these chords. What's your mindset? The mindset behind chords is I have to act as if I'm a crate digger, and I have to get in the mindset of a crate digger. What does a crate digger do? He takes a jazz album from him, he takes a soul album from here, he takes a rock album from here, takes another retro funk album from here, and he takes pieces of chords and he combines them together into one chord. So I have to somehow mimic that in my playing. How I mimic that is that, okay, I'm in the key of F, right? So we know urban chords are going to be the 2, 4, and the 6. So you see? So, but I have to add offset jazzy chords to kind of make it sound like I'm picking and choosing. So in between this regular F stuff, I add a passing tone. This chord right here, they call it a D flat augmented 7, sharp 9. So, and then I go to the 5. So I'm adding different. So I just went to the 5, and then whenever you have a chord that you're playing suspended, you can take these higher suspendeds and so I went to the 5, and then they call it a sharp 9 flatted 13th, or a lot of musicians call this a 7/9. So that's the passing tone. So what I do is fat passing tone, regular chord, fat passing tone, regular chord. Now, so the movement goes. Now I shot you this video. I want to change the mode. What do? I borrow. I go up 3. I'm sorry, 1. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, or so 1, 2, 3. So I'm in F, and then I want to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. I borrow from A flat. That gets me in a different mode. That's the relative major. So that gives me into a whole nother jazz sphere, and then I come back. So fat passing tone to the 5. Get me back to the 6. Remember, all I'm doing is 5 and 6. But then I went. Now I want to do something different to change the mode. I want to borrow from A flat, which is the relative major. Correct me. I'm not the super theory guy, as you know. So I'm going to stop even trying that whole thing, okay? So relative major. Now I'll borrow from A flat, but I don't want to make it obvious and just go to A flat. I want to borrow from the stuff that makes A flat nice. That 4 and that flatted 7. So that 4 of A flat is that flatted 7th of A flat is. So we put it together. How do I get back? When you're doing neo soul urban, that 6 is really the root. So I want to get back to the 6 of F. So I do my passing tone that gets me there. That sharp 9 flatted 13th. Back there. So the whole movement is. Okay, one thing on that 4. You normally would play this 4. I change it up a little bit. Major 13th. Now I'm missing something. I'm missing some more jazz. So we go. I could do something there on that 6. Since we've been playing that 6 so much, I can do a gospel chord. So this is what we would do in gospel. So I'm going to play that D13. And remember, we kind of look like we got a perfect fourth over here. What can I do with a perfect fourth? So and that's the movement, guys. So as you can see, I'm not the super complicated teacher. I'm the teacher that gets you into the fat land, and I'll pass you off to the super fat cats. So because my mindset is I want to make something very simple so that I understand it. It's math based and it's pattern based. Okay. So let's get this going. The whole movement.
Feeling this right here, Jamal.
Switched it.
Now this is poetry in motion, emotions in the open. I'm sending all my love like some overseas devotion to give a little peace for the world that's in commotion. We drop keys for the times, how we coping that'll do your heart well when all else was all hell. If melodies the weaponry, we wore well, so the calms felt. No bombshells like storms fell upon us. We navigating through the trauma with peace of mind, feet recline as we read the times. As all shakes, don't hesitate to seek or find a kingdom unshakable, and it'll take you to a king above kings who reigns, who's capable of breaking through any sickness, disease, or grief that's in the streets. We preach his love and reach that's deep for all to see, from sea to shining sea. Who's he from Galilee that died at Calvary? Let me explain. It's God's kindness to send his son to show amongst the trouble we can still overcome. With faith in Jesus' name, there's grace for everyone. For all our sin and shame and weight that's burdensome. Man, if you talking about pain, yeah, I feel it too. You talking about the storm's rain, yeah, I feel it too. And I ain't trying to complain, but I feel it too. But faith in the son's name's with his healing do. Some scared to say his name like Beetlejuice. Let that show who they pledge their allegiance to. We telling them to cut it out like a cleaver do. We lift the kingdom up, cause trust, that's the realest crew. Cause trust, that's the realest crew. Yeah. Stefanato, Menace Movement.